Welcome to The Warm-Up, a Bailiwick Express podcast giving you an insight into the sports action that is on the horizon. Hello, I'm Nick Mann, and for this episode I've been talking to Guernsey Netball head coach Sally Carns ahead of her team's trip to play a new 5-day tournament in the Isle of Man. That's a chance for the players to test themselves and their systems against new opposition, and all part of plans to progress and grow the game as a whole.
Just to start things up, can you tell me about why a tournament like this is needed and important for Guernsey Netball?
Absolutely. So after COVID for our seniors, it became apparent that we needed something to work towards, and we weren't sure that that was a regular weekly fixture playing in regionals, whether it was a tournament-based kind of calendar. And following the most recent Island Games that Guernsey hosted, or kind of around that same time, some of the islands came together and started speaking about why netball wasn't in it. And there were discussions going on with the Island Games organisers, but it became apparent that it wasn't going to be any time soon that it was, even going to be thought about to be added in. So a group of the development officers, including Amy, who was our development officer at the time for Guernsey, started speaking about could they run their own Island Games. And from that, the Island Invitational Games has come about for us as a squad and as an island to have something to focus on. When I was brought on board as the head coach, we really had spoken about what we were doing it for and what our purpose of training and camp-based and everything else was. And this tournament gives us a focus to really measure our benchmarks against. So previously, we obviously had inters, and every year we would play Jersey, and that was kind of our measurement. But for us, it's really important to get the variety of competition and not just to be kind of playing the same team over and over again. So it's a really important competition. We're really looking forward to it. We've trained hard for it, and hopefully it'll give us a really good idea of where we sit around the other islands and with different styles of play as well.
And can you take me through a little bit about how those preparations have gone, especially, I guess, in the last few weeks as the excitement has built as well?
Yeah, definitely. So we started, way back before the summer, really thinking about it and looking at the way that the Isle of Man have formatted the competition is that it's a 5-day competition. And that meant that for our players, we've still got some in school. We've obviously got people who are working, and myself who works in a school as well. So the format of the competition was a Tuesday to a Saturday. Which it didn't limit our players, but it did mean a little bit of consideration as to who could actually get that time off. So our selection process started way back through the summer. We've worked on a camp basis, so I will come over normally once a month, and we have 2 or 3 sessions of 3 or 4 hours with the seniors and with the 19s during those camps. I was obviously over this weekend. And we played on Friday night. We played a warm-up match, I guess, against the men's team, where we played 6 periods of really trying out different combinations and looking at what the squad, the 12 girls that we have traveling, how that works on court, what it looks like and everything else. So that was really positive and worked really well for us to be able to try those combinations. Then from there, we went into a training camp on Saturday. And then on Sunday morning, we introduced our S&C coach to the girls. So they had a really intense S&C training session on Sunday morning. So it set us up nicely for traveling. We have a little bit of training time when we're over there as well, which is really good. So we can run out some of the things that are still a little bit niggly and kind of work on those combinations on court before we get into competition.
And I guess there's going to be some particular challenges from a tournament competition. So be playing over 5 days, the fitness and the mental side of that as well.
Absolutely. I think it definitely is. It's the first time that Guernsey have really done anything like this. So what Isle of Man have tried to do is kind of emulate and simulate a Netball Europe style competition, which is run over a slightly shorter period of time. But certainly for us, we know that 5 games in 5 days is really going to push us. And as a coach, in some ways that gives me really good things to work with and lets me see who is up to standard and who's got that fitness and who's got the mentality to be able to, if we lose a game, can we drag ourselves up within 24 hours to then go and play different timing games? There are some mornings we are up and about at 6:30 for a 9 o'clock game. There are other games that we're playing at 7 o'clock at night. So it's a really good test of kind of how we are as a squad, how our leadership team steps up and really takes on that ownership of the squad and that kind of squad mentality and the team mentality, and really sort of drives us through for the 5 days.
And what will you be looking for from this tournament? Because obviously, I guess there's going to be stiff competition. We already know how good someone like Jersey is, for instance. So is it a case of, you spoke about measuring yourself against different sides, but is there also progressing the players and seeing how they react as well? And what specifically will be after?
I think from my side, I'm a performance coach. I want to go out and win, and I think all the girls step onto court wanting to win every game. We know that realistically, that's probably not our goal for this tournament. Our goal for this tournament is to look at those processes that we've been training so hard on over the last 9 months, and can we go and put them into competition against different styles of play? So we know Orkney and Shetland will be physical, they'll be fast, they'll be quick on court. Can we adapt our play to play against them? And really, from a coaching point of view, and certainly from a game plan point of view, without giving too much away, our game plan is really to play our own game and to be able to adapt that on court. And we've worked really, really hard with the girls over the past 6-7 months that they need to be able to change it on court. If it isn't working, what else have they got in their toolkit? And hopefully we have, over the last, especially the last 6 months, really sort of provided the girls with that technical knowledge and the tactical knowledge to be able to go and change their game. So from an outcome for us, yes, we want to go and win some of those games, but we also want to see that we can adapt it and that we can play against different styles of netball.
And I guess this is all maybe a bit of a culmination of the work that you've been doing since you took on the role back in February. So what were your expectations when you first became like the head coach?
Yeah, it was funny. So I came over in January for my interview, and one of the things I had to do was look at a 3, 6 and 9 month kind of goals. And I looked back over them this weekend, actually. And do you know what? Most of them were there or thereabouts. So a lot of it for me was around creating a performance environment that the girls wanted to be a part of. And, we tick box that. We've got 21 in the seniors program. We've got 11 or 12 in the under 19s program who train alongside, and I've incorporated them into the seniors. This weekend, we started our under 13, our under 15 performance programs with the PDPs. We've looked at how we got a regular structure of competition for all those squads, and we've definitely done that. So our 19s compete in the South region. Our seniors have now got the Island Games to look forward to. So we've really kind of ticked the boxes as far as the processes went and what we wanted out of the first kind of 6 to 9 months. I think for me now, it's around looking forward and seeing, is this the right structure for us? Is it working? Is it working for the girls? Are we improving? Are we getting to where we want to be? And really making sure that the measurements of those targets are in place and where we go forward. A big part of the role was going to be about bringing other coaches along on the journey with me. People like Bridget Yabsley, who's really stepped up as my assistant coach and leads on the 19s. And, I unfortunately can't be there for the whole week of the Isle of Man. So we're doing this handover period on the Wednesday whereby she'll be taking over as head coach and giving people the confidence to be able to step up and do that from a coaching point of view. I had 6 different coaches involved in my PDPs this weekend, and that was a big part of the role as well. I can't be on island all the time. I don't live there. I travel over and we do this camp basis, but what goes on outside of those camps and with the clubs and with the teams on island is really, really important. So that kind of succession planning and development planning as well has really sort of come to the fruition and come to the forefront really over the last 6 months. So I think, yeah, definitely some tick boxes there. There's still lots to do, and the girls know that as well. The athletes know that we are at the start of our performance program, and this is not a quick win. This is not we'll be done in 6 months, box ticked. So it's really exciting. It still excites me. I love coming over to the island. I get the best reception from all age groups when I come over, and they work their little socks off when I'm there. So it's really positive environment for me to be in, and hopefully for the girls and the coaches as well.
And is there a sense that the game's growing as well? Is that something you want to achieve? So not just on the performance level, but in terms of the roots for the game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, one of our probably our biggest challenges this year has been with our 14s and our 16s, who were meant to go and compete in the qualification tournaments for South Region. But unfortunately, their flights got cancelled. Island life took over. So they haven't had the opportunity to compete off island. So we've really had to look at the 14s and 16s island program and think, how do we get those girls still involved and still enthused? So with the 16s, for example, with Heidi Rosamond and Kirsty Borghese leading on that, they've really had to think up a different plan as to how they can get as many girls in the 16s involved in that kind of bottom of the triangle, so that when we get to inters and when we get to competition level, that we've got the top of the triangle going. So I think that's really had a knock-on effect. I think the 14s have got Jill and Donna in there really leading on that, and a familiar face in there. So we've got these kind of performance programs that my focus has been on, which really goes from the under 13 PDP upwards. But we look at the work that Amy's done with the under 11s, with the under 12s, and the numbers, with our, hopefully, will continue to grow, and that can only be a good thing for the performance side of things. As we grow the bottom of the triangle, we know that the elite happens as well. So we're excited to see where it goes in the next few years with all age groups, but especially as they start coming up the pathway and sort of embedding into the 19s and seniors as well.
If you had a sort of dream scenario, I guess, like where the game would be in 5 years' time, what would that be? What would that look like?
I can't give away too many of my secrets here, Nick.
Yeah.
I think, for me, we are encouraging and we're keeping that participation numbers going. So the leagues are growing, the school participation's growing. From a kind of business head on, I would like to see more partnership working. So we've been really, really fortunate with Elizabeth College, who have partnered with us on a facility basis and provide us with a performance hub. I would like to see more partners come on board to really support female sport, and especially the performance end. I would love to see a regular competition, be that the Invitational Island Games or something different for our seniors, so that we are building towards events every year and we know what we're building towards. The numbers that we have in our 19s and our seniors is great. I'd love to see more people involved in that. So people kind of realizing what the new program looks like and kind of wanting to be a part of it, and bringing along those coaches, those team managers, those administrators, those S&C, all of the things that surround that performance program, and really getting them on board. So I think for me, it's just keeping going on the track that we're going on performance and participation, and really making sure that by in those 5 years that we get to a stage where we're really happy, but we've still got things to achieve and things to be ambitious about going for, and to beat Jersey at Interinsulars.
That was the warm-up. Thanks again for listening. Please like and subscribe for more. You can find all our sports news on gsy.bailiwickexpress.com and on all our social channels. Sign up to our daily email to keep up to date on all the work the Express team does.